All right. Hello, everyone. This is Randy Muller with Jack Quinn Solutions Multi-Channel Marketing, and today we're going to be interviewing Craig Caffro at Spanks The Hog BBQ in Pompano Beach. How are you, Spanks?
Good, good. How you doing, Randy?
Good. Really appreciate your time this morning, Spanks. And what we're going to do is just kind of talk about why you got in the restaurant business, what's your favorite part of the restaurant business, and maybe if we get to it, we'll have a few cooking tips and maybe some cool stuff like that.
We'll see where it goes. Not a problem.
All right. So Spanks, tell me about you. What's your background? Where'd you come from? What have you done in the past? And what brought you to this?
Always been in the food industry ever since I was 14.
Okay.
You know, I started with McDonald's. Everybody kind of starts with McDonald's. I went to Burger King, then Arby's, and then just kept going there. Went into service, got out of the service, came down here, became a stockbroker, got out of the broker business, and opened up a bar. It was over here called Spanks the Pittsburgh Grill. And then just the food just kept taking off, and from that bar we turned it into a restaurant, and then we bought 3 restaurants after that, and then ended up in the barbecue business.
Oh, so you say you were in the service. What did you do in the service?
I was with the 82nd Airborne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to jump out of planes. Never landed in a plane. Don't like landing in a plane. So.
And then you were a stockbroker too? Wow.
I was a stockbroker, yep. Had the Series 7, Series 63, Series 3.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Why did you get out of the broker business?
It just wasn't. It was great. It was nice. But you can't always tell the truth.
Right.
In the brokerage business.
I understand. So that's what led you to the restaurant business.
Well, being that I started when I was 14, I knew the food industry.
Okay.
So that's why I came back in it, started to build my own restaurant, ended up getting 3 restaurants, and now we're down to 1 with one franchisee. I got 1 franchisee with the Spanky's Cheesesteak Factory.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes.
And when did you first decide that the restaurant business was for you? You know, you started at 14, and then was it just you woke up one morning and said, you know, I'm going to go in the restaurant business?
No, I think I did that when I was around 20. I was working for a huge chain, and I was making a lot of decisions for them and making them grow and everything, and I just didn't get the appreciation out of it. So I said, you know, instead of me building something for somebody else, let me build something for me.
Very good. Now this is a 2-part question. One is, how does somebody like me know that it's a good restaurant? That what should I look for when I come into a restaurant?
Well, you know, everybody kind of always says, look at the bathrooms. Okay?
Right.
The bathrooms are clean, then it's a good restaurant. Well, that's not so true. Really, there's no way to find out until you just order.
Okay.
You order, it comes in, you got people doing different things. If the food's good, it's good. You know, just because a guy can't afford $500 tables to make the atmosphere real unique doesn't mean he can't cook.
Right.
So, you know, and I've had a place that I built with $8,000, and I've had a place I built with $50,000.
Okay.
And the food is always the same, and I've had them lined up. And my first bar, you know, that's why I said the bathrooms doesn't mean anything, because the bathrooms were horrific, but I still had a line at lunch.
Right.
Okay, so it all depends. It depends on you really got to try it first.
Right.
I always say, don't let the look deceive you, because you never know. And you get those old in the back of the excuse me, if you go into especially the neighborhood bars or neighborhood restaurants and get off the beaten path, that's where
Right.
your best food is. And
That's
they're
been
not
my
always
experience.
it's not always the, you know, where the tourist traps are, you know.
Absolutely. I've been all over the world, as you have too, in the military, myself in the service, and I always look for the mom and pop places.
That's
always where I found the best food.
Right.
Always found the best. Now, the other part of the question was, what makes somebody determine if the restaurant business is for them? You know, so it's kind of if I want to go in the restaurant business, how would I know if that's really right for me? What do you really have to, that passion you have to make that a good decision for you?
Man, that's a that's a hard question. No matter what you do in life, it depends on, you never know what's good for you. To me, because I can go tomorrow and start cutting diamonds,
Mm-hmm.
and might love it. Okay, but I did get into the restaurant business. It was a passion. The thing is you can't look at, and this is the biggest fault everybody has. You can't look at your paycheck.
Right.
because your paycheck has a lot of zeros in the beginning. So if you're going to open up the restaurant and you're going to have a food industry business, especially when you have something perishable, 9 times out of 10, your first year, your first 2 years, you don't get paid. You don't get paid. You get through the restaurant, you build something, and once you get past that mark and you become a landlord, okay, it's not like you're going to be there forever. It can tear you down in 10 years, okay?
Right.
But you just got to keep it going. You got to accept what you're working for. Don't count your hours to the pay that you get. That's the biggest thing that people do.
And I wanted to ask that question because I wanted our viewers to see that it is a labor of love, that you love this restaurant, you love this industry, and you love your customers walking through the door. Because I've been here a few times, and what I notice about this restaurant that's different is that when I walk through the door, I'm greeted with a hello, I'm treated with respect, and I'm always taken care of.
Right, and you know, because like I try to teach the workers, this is the biggest thing, is I don't pay your paycheck. You know, as an owner, the owner doesn't pay your paycheck. The owner didn't save all his money up to go and pay a waitress her paycheck or cook his paycheck. What it does is the customer that comes in and spends that dollar, there's your paycheck. Okay, so if you don't get them coming back, you're not going to get a paycheck. But as far as, and the other thing is yeah, you got to love your customers, and you got to love the hours. It's long hours. This isn't something that you're going to come in from 9 to 5. Okay, people eat at 6 o'clock in the morning. People eat at midnight. People eat at 3 in the morning. So your hours is going to take you. That's why I said don't count your hours to your paycheck, because it'll come out to be about $1 an hour.
Yeah, that's a great point. I haven't experienced it, but I've heard from your other customers that some nights you'll stay open until the last customer leaves. If somebody walks in at 10 o'clock, which is your closing hour, you'll stay with them. You'll make sure they're fed.
We'll stay all night.
Yeah.
If they keep coming through the door, we stay all night.
Very good.
Yeah.
What are the top 5 things that bring people through the door?
One, I would say everybody knows location, okay, but not everybody has a location. 2, I would say reputation. 3, the name, if it's a unique name. Top 5. 4, your food. Actually, I would probably go 4, the service, and then 5, the food.
Okay.
I mean, Food should be number 1, but people, if they don't know what the food tastes like, that's not bringing them in the door the first time. So the first time is location. If you're in a prime spot and everybody keeps seeing you, that's why I say location is the first. You know, they got to see you. They just, you know, it just doesn't hit them in the head, say, hey, you know, let's go to Spanky's because he just opened up. If they've never been there, that don't work. So you got to bring them in. You know, you got to be seen. You got to be heard. And how I mean by heard is word of mouth. Advertising. Advertising is expensive sometimes. And, you know, then when you get them in the door, your service got to keep them.
Right.
And then your food's got to bring them back.
Right. Okay. When you talk about, you know, starting a restaurant, what is the absolutely easiest way to start a restaurant?
Oh, easiest way to start a restaurant. There is none. There is none.
And this is your 5th restaurant, correct? 4th restaurant.
No, 6th.
It's your 6th restaurant.
Yeah.
So what's your formula?
My formula is different. I've never, I can't say that. I did. I built them from ground level when they were closed. This one here where we're at now, is Spanks The Hog BBQ, is the only one that I bought pre-built. Okay. Everything else I bought the location, then I built it from there. I never bought somebody else's name. I never bought somebody else's restaurant. I know that other people have been very successful at that. I just wasn't, in my mind, I don't pay somebody to do, or that worked for them. I can do the work too. Right. So I like building the own thing because then it's a hands-on kind of thing. This is the first restaurant that's actually been built, but didn't have a business. I had a small business, but then when we took over, it wasn't enough to pay for the place, so we still had to build it. Okay. So that was kind of like, that's what I like to do. I like to take something that's ground level and then build it up and then let me sell it to somebody.
Okay.
You know, then you can count your hours to dollars. Okay.
Before that, it's a labor of love.
It's all labor. It's all labor.
You mentioned building it up. What's the formula for building it up? You mentioned, location's number one. After that's a name.
You got your location, you got your name, and
then your reputation. You mentioned your reputation.
You got it. Well, if you don't have one, say you go into a new neighborhood and you don't have one.
Right.
So the best thing that you got to do is you got to make sure what you cook is the best.
Right.
I don't care what it is. Make sure it's the best. And if even if you don't know how to cook it, if you cook it wrong, but it's the best way you cook it, that's all you can do.
Right.
And make sure it's the best, and then slowly get out there and bring the people in. And if they like it, they come back, they tell their friends,
Right.
and the word of mouth. And it'll take a while, but it'll get there.
And that's part of one of the reasons we're doing these videos is to help people learn about you, how you help grow restaurants, and you bring in the best food for the best experience that somebody can have when they
Yes.
come into your place.
Yes.
There's no doubt they're going to have a great experience when they come here. What was your biggest mistake when you got started in the restaurant business?
Building a restaurant. No.
Just deciding to be in the restaurant business. That was the first mistake. No,
It's not. There, you know what? There really isn't a mistake.
Well, maybe what's
There's
your most memorable experience where you're like, uh-oh, but you recovered and you came back from it.
Putting people in charge, thinking that they can do something that you've already known what to do. Paying advertisers that say that they can bring in hundreds of people that, they do it for McDonald's, they do it for Burger King, and they do it for this. The biggest thing that people listen to is, well, if they do it, I should do it. Okay? And that was what I did years ago. Today, no, I don't care what they do. They can have a multi-billion-dollar business because they advertise with such and such advertisement. But it ain't going to make me the billionaire because they already got that niche. So you got to find out what works. If it works, great. And you're going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I lose money today. You got to make it up tomorrow. That's all. It's a restaurant business. Every day's different. It's not the same.
Right. Now, my thoughts are, in looking at businesses, there's always fundamentals to any business, including the restaurant business, whether you're a $1 billion business or you're, as you are your size, where you're growing a new business. And you mentioned, these advertising agencies, but let me know your thoughts. My thoughts are they started in the same way you're starting today. They went out and they got a good location. They created a great reputation. They built and had the best food and made sure they had great customer service. No matter whether they're huge or, your size where you're growing in a restaurant, would you say that's the same? The fundamentals are the same?
It's the same formula. It's the same.
Yeah, same
yeah,
formula.
I would say it's the same. You got to hit those. You got to hit those 5 points.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, I don't care what business it is. And the biggest thing that somebody ever told me that no matter what you do, be the best.
Right.
If you're shining shoes on a corner, shine them the best. Somebody's always looking.
Aren't they? I would agree.
Always
with that.
happen.
Absolutely. And in addition to restaurant business, you've had other businesses. What's been the key to your success?
Hands-on.
Okay.
Hands-on. I built hair salons, nail salons. I built motorcycle shops. I did restaurants. Hands-on. You can't put the trust in somebody else unless they're that good. And if they're that good, why didn't they do it for themselves? That's what you got to kind of ask your question.
Yeah.
Some people are the best at what they do, but put them in owning a position or a business, they can't do it.
Right.
No matter how hard they try, they just can't own a business. So it's different. So becoming an employee or becoming a CEO or becoming an owner, it is 3 different levels. So that's the biggest thing.
And what's the difference between you and all the other restaurants that are out there?
There's a lot of good restaurants out there. I don't think I'm the number 1 restaurant, but I know one thing that I do more than any other restaurant. I got my heart in the food.
Right.
Yeah. If somebody gets a bad meal, it hurts me, and I don't want to see anybody get a bad meal. I want to know I got that thumbs up. Give me that thumbs up every time I ask you everything's good. then I'm happy. If I don't get that thumbs up, then I'm wondering, okay? And then I'm gonna ask you, is something was wrong? And if it was wrong, I want to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I don't know. I'll try to make it something different. I don't know. But I got my heart in the food. That's the big thing.
And that's been my experience coming to your restaurant, is that, you know, as I mentioned before, when I walk through the door, there's care, there's love in the air for me as a customer that I'm going to be taken care of. And it means a lot to me as customers. I'm sure our viewers will say that, you know, the fact that you care that they have a great experience and that's your main focus, they're going to see that, feel that when they walk through the door. They're going to taste that when they eat the food. They're really going to enjoy that, which is really, really good. What are some things that you would say is your let's talk about your menu for a few minutes.
Okay.
Let's talk about your menu for a few minutes. What's your favorite dish on your menu?
Mine, I would say it is the Reuben filling.
The Reuben filling.
Now, that's with the Cheesesteak Factories.
Okay.
Good morning, Malika. And we don't have them here at the barbecue place yet.
Oh, no. Okay.
We do them every so often, okay? But
So it's a special.
It's a special.
Something for you all to watch out for when they have the Reuben Philly.
Yes.
You guys want to keep an eye out for that, so that when they have it, you know you have to come in that day to make
You
sure
like
you
the
get it.
Reuben? The Reuben Philly's the #1 sandwich. Now, the best-selling sandwich I have between the close places is the Spanx cheesesteak, or the cheesesteak.
The cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's the #1. What's getting up closer is the baby back ribs and the smoked wings. The smoked wings that we do out of here, we kind of named them a different name. Everybody asks me why I would do it, but I do call them the butt ugly wings. They look bad, but get past that, taste them, and you'll reorder.
I would agree. I had those the other day, and they were outstanding.
Yeah, they're good. It was a, believe it or not, that was a recipe that started as a mistake
Oh, really?
and then ended up being pretty good.
That's how some of our best inventions are made. It's through a mistake.
It was done by a mistake, came out great.
So that's an item that somebody watching now could get any day.
Any day.
They come in and ask for the smoked wings, and they're gonna. Are there different flavors of wings, or just is that the
You got
one?
no, you got all the flavors. You got the sweet barbecue, spicy barbecue, mustard, blueberry. We're starting a little peach barbecue, and then we have our favorite is the mango barbecue.
Okay.
So we have and all the sauces are here made on house, or made in house, I should say.
Now, what's the difference between good barbecue and great barbecue?
Your taste. It's the customer's taste. They're I can bring two people in here, and one's going to say, best barbecue I've ever had, and the other person is going to say, this ain't barbecue. So depending on where you grew up and what you think a barbecue is, okay, that BBQ stands for a lot of words.
That's true.
A barbecue to some people is hamburgers and hot dogs on a grill with a beer. Barbecue to other people is ribs, brisket, pork, that kind of deal. So, and do you char grill it? Do you steam it? Do you smoke it? So it's in a barbecue. It's hard. It's hard to tell you what's the best barbecue out there. It's the preferred taste that you like. Some people like it burnt, the burnt end. I don't like it that way. You know, I like the taste. I like the moisture. I want the softness. I want everything to come out of that meat. I want it falling off the bone. That I consider good barbecue. If you want it burnt, then we'll put it on a char grill. We'll burn it a little bit for you. But I don't have the burnt ends. I use a strictly smoke, and the smoke won't, open flame is different than smoke. Then smoke is different from steam. Steam is different from outside cooking. So that's a tricky question because everybody's got their own opinion.
But I'm coming to your house.
We try to give you what you want, okay? And it's just like the sauce. Our sweet sauce is our main sauce, okay? Now, we have South Carolina customers come in here and goes, well, this ain't barbecue sauce. You got to have mustard in it. So I talked to them, got the feel in my head, and then I made a mustard vinegar barbecue sauce for
So
them.
you make your own sauce.
I make everything here. I got a South Carolina sauce. I got a North Carolina sauce. It has no corn syrup or no molasses or nothing. It's strictly vinegar and spices. It's a great sauce. They call it barbecue sauce, but it's a vinegar. Okay, that's a North Carolina barbecue sauce. I make that for them. I'll make a Kansas City barbecue sauce. It's more sweeter, right? Mississippi's more spicier, you know. So we try to do different things. Everybody, especially when we're down here in Florida, you got everybody from somewhere else.
Right.
So I try to accommodate all that to where who comes in, and we take care of that, you know.
Now, I'm a customer and I love your sauce. If I wanted to buy your sauce, how could I do that?
We have it bottled. We have it in a 12-ounce bottle, or we can do it by the gallon. All our sauces, our hot sauce is made here, habanero hot sauce, cayenne garlic sauce, and then all the barbecue sauces are all made here, and then we can sell them to you in a 12-ounce gallon, 5-gallon bucket, depending on how much you want.
Yeah, and in today's world, favorite part of the day?
Closing. No. In the restaurant business, you do. When you sleep, that's your favorite, because you don't get to sleep.
Yeah.
You don't get to sleep. But normally, I would say probably dinner time, when you got everybody coming in and you start to get to see your friends. You don't get out much, you know. So when they come here, that's when you got to kind of associate with them,
right?
You know.
So you mentioned you get to see your friends. Would you consider every customer that walks through the door your
Everybody that comes in, you got it. That's a friend. You started a new relationship, and if you get to keep that, great. If you don't get to keep it, you just lost a little bit of money.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't consider having a friend just because they, you know, spend money. But no, if they don't come through the door and you don't take care of them, everybody's got to eat. Everybody eats every day. And the way we are today, we eat morning, noon, and lunch. So let's try to feed them every day.
Right. And I think you mentioned before how you care, and you're hurt when somebody doesn't have a good meal, and you do what you can to make it up to them to make sure they have a meal.
They spent the time to come to your place.
Right.
They got an hour to 2 hours out of their life that they sat in your location. And if they're unsatisfied, all they'll think about is, wow, what a bad place.
Right.
And you don't want that. I'd rather let them walk out the door and say that was a great place. When they get in the car, they already forgot about it. But if it's a bad meal, tonight they'll be talking about it. Tomorrow they'll be talking about it. Next week they'll be talking about it. So, yeah, you don't want them to talk about it.
So if there was one secret that people didn't know about you, what secret would that be? That you want, you know, something that's kind of fun and interesting about you, but not a lot of people know about it. And it could be a secret that in your past, secret about the restaurant itself, something that, you know, when they come in, it would be interesting to ask you about that secret.
The secret I have? That's a real hard question. Let's see what I want to reveal. It's all right. I love to hunt. I would rather be hunting than anything. And we hunt, we catch our game, bring the game back, cook it, eat it. And then when people enjoy a wild game dinner, that's the satisfaction. That's a passion. That's more of a passion. Nobody really gets to see me hunt. I usually go by myself, and I just love to hunt.
So hunting's your passion. In addition to the restaurant and taking care of folks, you love to go out and hunt and be in the great outdoors and enjoy.
Hunting would be probably the one thing that I don't think a lot of people know that I do. But I love to hunt.
Now, what do you consider to be the most powerful secret in the restaurant business?
Your front of the house.
In front of the house.
Your front of the house.
If someone walks through the door.
Your waitresses, your head manager, your assistant owner, just basically your front of the house. If you walk through that door and you're not greeted or you're not going to do anything, he goes, you're done. You lose them. You got to capture them at the door. You got to keep them throughout their meal.
Now, if somebody were thinking about starting a business, what would be the secret to success?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just get out there and try to figure out what you want to do. And if it's a restaurant you want to buy, find a restaurant, look at it. If it meets your qualifications, depending on how big you want to go, how much money you want to spend, how many hours you want to spend there, and then just execute it. Just go and do it. Don't think about it a second time. You know, if you second guess yourself, then there's your answer.
Right.
Don't do it.
Absolutely.
If you see it, you love it, take it, go after it, open it up. More than likely, you're going to be successful. If you don't, like I said before, don't look at your paycheck till your hours. Okay? If you want a paycheck because you work 40 hours a week, then go work for somebody, because this isn't where it's at. Owning your own business isn't where it's at.
And I love barbecue. And sometimes I cook at home. What's the easiest, best recipe I can make at home?
It's called delivery.
It is called delivery. It is. Yes, it is. I would agree.
And we do deliver, guys. It depends on what you start with.
Okay.
But the biggest, I would tell you this, the secret to barbecue, to real moist barbecue, low and slow. Meaning low temperature and long time cooking.
When you say long time cooking, 4, 6, 8 hours, or as long as possible?
As long, you basically want to take, if you have a brisket, you want to take the internal temperature up to about 210 degrees, as long as it would take. Can't make it too long, but I will tell you mine, it's 15 hours, and we cook it at around 214, 215 degrees, and we try to get that internal temperature up to over 200.
Okay.
And then you watch that moisture just come right out of there. Same thing with pork, ribs. You got to remember now, the thicker the meat, the longer you're going to cook it. The thinner the meat, the less time you're going to cook it. But you got to watch that internal temperature. If that internal temperature hits, if you're cooking something in 3 hours and it's already at 200, you're done.
Okay.
Get it off, get it out of there.
So the internal temperature is the key to any cooking.
Right.
No matter how quickly you got to get there, once it's that temperature.
Well, if you got it there too quick, you might get it. It might be a little tough.
Okay.
It'll probably still be good. You'll like it, but will it be that fall off the bone kind of thing? Nah, maybe not. You might want to go a little bit lower, slower, and then let it get up to the temperature, and you'll have it right there.
Now, you're going to be writing a cookbook, correct?
We're thinking about it, my wife and I, so we'll see what we do about that.
So you have some recipes that you use here in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And for those of you watching, if you want to get a sneak peek at that cookbook, go ahead and opt in with your name and email in the link below. Just click that link, put in your name and email, and we'll start to send you a little bit of the secrets as we start to reveal those, so you can get a first-hand copy of that recipe book when it starts to be published. And that should be published probably the next 6 to 12 months, no more than a year.
Nah, no more than a year, but it'll give me about a year to get that all together. And I promise I won't leave that one ingredient out like Grandma used to make something. Nah.
There's not gonna be any secret ingredients?
No. I tell you, I don't mind if you make it at home. It'll be great, because it's always a great time to get out to somewhere else and come.
Right.
But if you can't get out, I want you to enjoy the food. You know?
And if you have any problems cooking that food and it's not tasting like it is when you come into Spanx, come in and ask him what the secret is, and I'm sure he'll share with you.
We'll share it with you. Just remember, all the meats that actually come into Spanx is through my meat company anyways.
Okay.
So if you want good meat, you buy the meat from here.
Very good. So you also have a meat company.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, if I were somebody that wanted to buy meat from you, how would I do that?
You get in contact with me personally.
Okay.
We'll set something up.
Okay,
And
so
then we can ship it to you.
So for those of you that would like some of the meat that they use here actually used in the restaurant, you go ahead and dial the number that you see on the screen and give Spanx a call, and he will actually work with you to make sure you get the best meat that he cooks and uses in his restaurant, so that you not only can have the good food when you come in, but you could also make it at home when you buy his meat, buy his sauce, and use his cookbook.
If you
and you're going to get the whole experience at home.
If you got all good quality ingredients, you'll have a good quality meal.
Very good. Now, is there any tools and resources that somebody could use to learn more about barbecue? Is there anything, places that you go?
Online.
Any special website you would look at?
No, I just Google up barbecue, and I try to follow all the top chefs. We all know who, all the chefs out there. I'm not going to say their name because they're not paying me to say it, but follow. I followed. That's how I made, as we call, Spanx butt rub.
Okay.
All right. Believe it or not, I took the top 7 chefs, and I took their butt rub, and every ingredient that they used together, I used. Every ingredient, if one chef didn't use that ingredient, I didn't use it. Okay. So I took everything that they did, and I came up with 13 ingredients, and then I did my own little measurement of it, and I came up with mine.
Wow.
And it's been doing very well.
Now, is that something we could also, if a viewer wanted to,
You can buy
use
that.
as well?
The recipe I probably won't put out there.
No, I wouldn't.
But it's easy. It's not that hard. You know, we'll see.
Yeah, everyone has their secrets, and
I
that's
can
what
tell
I
you.
would
I
protect.
can tell you the ingredients, the spices, but it's up to you how much you put into it.
So if you don't mix it, just
That's
right.
what Grandma always did. Grandma never told you how much to use. A pinch is not really a pinch.
That's just true.
Yes.
You know, and now my wife is very much about measuring. Viewers in the next, say, 30 to 60 days, what's the best way for them to learn more about you, learn and taste your food, your sauces? How would they do that?
Well, I'd hope that they would come through the front door.
Okay.
Let's come through the front door and let's get the experience. Let's try to give them the experience they're looking for.
Okay. So for our viewers, when you see this video and you get to this part, basically we want to see you come through the door and enjoy the experience. Let people know that you saw, the Spanks interview, saw it online, and let them know that you care and you want to learn more about his business, want to learn more about how he cooks that great food back there and makes it work.
That'll work out good.
Now, what are your final words of wisdom? Now, I want to kind of paint the picture here. What a lot of folks don't know about Spanks that is we haven't really talked about is that you're a very good person at heart. You've adopted a few kids.
I'm hoping.
You are. I can tell you are. You've adopted some kids. You've taken care of families. You've taken care of kids over and above what I've seen. What most people would do. And for me, as a someone out there, I really appreciate that and love to see people like that. But behind that is wisdom. What are your words of wisdom that drive you to do those kinds of good things for people?
Wow. It's you just don't think about yourself first. Put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, think about others and what you want. If you were in their shoes, would you want somebody to do for you?
Right.
And turn the page.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Okay. And I know in my life I've done what I could to take care of folks, and you have too. And as we mentioned before, as you do good, good will come back to you.
Hey, I'm a firm believer in that. You do something, it will come back 10 times fold. You do something bad, it's coming back. And it might not be the same way, but it's coming back. Yes, what goes around comes around. Absolutely.
Now, would there be, what type of special offer would you ask our viewers? Would you, just to get them through the door, have them come try your food? Is there anything you would do for them, like, a discount or some type of?
Yeah, we do. We have 15% coupons out there. Okay. So if you don't get one, come in, tell me you've seen the video, and I know you've been on the website. You got 15% off your meal.
Okay. So for those of you watching the video, when you see the end of this video and you don't have a 15% off coupon, come in, let Spanky know you've seen the video and that you would like that 15% coupon, which will I'm sure it will more than compensate your enjoyment.
I hope so.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add for it? We'll make sure that everyone gets to hear it, because I think she's the backbone. She's the one that helps run the restaurant and make sure it happens.
You got it. It's easier when you got two people.
Right.
You're trying to do two different minds. She does all the front of the house, back of the house, the ordering. Basically the same thing I would be doing. If I'm not here, she does it. If she's not here, I do it.
Right.
And we work together. She's a big part of the businesses and what I've grown. That's a good thing. So it's a good partner. But good worker. Yeah.
Well, Spanky, I really appreciate your time today, letting us learn more about you, about the restaurant, and what's made you successful, which is what we are experiencing when we come through. When we come through the door and enjoy barbecue at Spanks The Hog BBQ, we're enjoying, Spanks' experience, his love of food and of people, and we're feeling that and seeing that every time we come through. So I hope you take the time to come into Spanks. It's in Pompano Beach. The address?
147 South Cypress Road, Pompano Beach, Florida.
And what's the phone number if somebody wanted to dial in and get an order?
954-590-8342. I should repeat that 3 times because that's what gets in their head, right?
Right, that's true. But it'll also we'll make sure it's below us when we're in the video itself. They'll actually see that throughout the video so that you'll know when to order, and as well as a link to the website so that people can come see your menu. And what's really cool about this new website is you'll not only be able to see the menu, but you'll actually be able to order right there on the website.
Perfect.
People come enjoy a carry out, curbside, whatever it is. We want to make
Whatever
sure
we
people have
can
that
do to
experience.
get you your business or get their business, that would be perfect.
Great. Well, again, thank you very much, and I look forward to having this out there and letting
You got it,
people learn
Randy.
more about you. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to Spanks The Hog BBQ. Join our family for some barbecue home cooking in a family-friendly atmosphere. We cook our barbecue long and slow to give you the best tasting barbecue in Pompano Beach. When you add our all-natural barbecue sauce, the experience is unforgettable. So order now or come on in. We can't wait to give you a great meal. See you soon.